Histories.
Me name Mary Seacole, famous nurse to the Crimean boys. No, me not Florence Nightingale, that mix up me a noise. Me learn me skills in a Jamaica, when me mother nursed is sick. And I think it my destiny, child, to be a war medic. If you're coughing, then you should have a drink with it. If your diet's poor, you should really think on it. If it's cholera, rehydration's best for it. If it's fever, better take some rest for it. Whoa oh oh, whoa oh oh, whoa oh oh oh. History still says me name, call me not one to mourn. Me ask me friend, come and stay for help and set off on my own. If you need it, put a massive plaster on it. If you're bleeding, shouldn't be disaster for it. If your leg broke, gonna need a cast on it. If you're constipated, take oil and caster for it. Whoa oh oh, whoa oh oh, whoa oh oh oh. Once here in Crimea, me became a pioneer. Me carpenters engineered a hotel at the new frontier. Set up on the front line in 1855. Independent woman saving soldiers' lives. Welcome to the British Hotel. Me boarding house became the aunt of the great and good. Though it wasn't glamorous, it was built of old bits of wood. Supplied the troops with kit and clothes, served both the rich and poor. Me nurse right on the battlefield while Florence worked far from the war. I'm a nursing lady, put a splint on it. Me see a wounded man, better sprint to it. Earned fame from the war, I'm a stint in it. But the crime and shame is me a skint from it. When the war was done, me never have a dime. Despite the work me do, bankruptcy was mine. I'm a fierce lady, never faced by it. Wrote a book and earned funds raised by it. Me hotel men own their lives to it. Going down in history, that's me prize for it.
Please lend me your ears, for this news I shall impart. You may not have been told, we have been here from the start. We rocked in the Stone Age, went to war with Bonaparte. Before these isles were British, black people played their part. Gentleman was Mesolithic, 10,000 years from now, when the animals were terrific.
You should see his giant cow.
And the Roman Emperor General and the brave Aurelian Moors were just a few of several who walked upon these shores. Listen to the tales, and these words I shall impart. Before Harold lost at Hastings, black people played their part. Queen Catherine and Henry had a trumpeter called John and a maid called Catalina.
But from history books, they're done.
Of naked Georgian writers and the stars of boxing rings, to the battlefields of Europe and the wind rush I could sing. Please lend me your ears, for this news I shall impart. For Harold lost at Hastings, black people played their part. These histories are just stories, there's truth for us to see. That for 10,000 British years, some Brits have looked like me. And today the future's hopeful, Rashford and Stormzy light the way. Evaristo, Blackman, Hamilton, Kaluuya, and many more names to say. Listen to the tales, there are words to fill your heart. You may not have been told, we have been here from the start. Try to map our journey, we'll need a bigger chart. For these isles were British, black people played their part.
I'm Rosa Parks, my story marks the first step towards civil rights. Racial inequality, American policy, till I kicked off a fight. What act of mine led havoc to ensue? How come I caused such fuss? What shocking behavior did I do? Well, I sat on a bus.
You sat on a bus.
I sat on a bus.
You sat on a bus.
You wanna know why?
Go ahead, tell us.
I sat on that bus.
You sat on a bus.
Nowadays our bus is divided. Whites in front, blacks behind.
You serious?
If the bus filled up, we had to give up our seats or we'd be fined.
That's ludicrous.
I made a stand in my hometown, Montgomery, Alabama.
That's dangerous.
Refused to stand for a white man, so they put me in the slammer.
Discourteous.
December 5, 1955, my trial notorious. Black people stood side by side, and no one got on the bus.
We stayed off the bus.
They stayed off the bus.
We stayed off the bus.
I'm in business.
She inspired us.
So we stayed off the bus.
We stayed off the bus.
We organized a boycott of public transportation to win RESPECT enforce new legislation. Dreamed of the day the USA had no implementation of SEGREGATION. Spell segregation. From that day on, we walked our cab led by Martin Luther King. Attacked by mobs, our houses bombed, though peace was our thing. Our plight, it made the national news, which was mighty strange. Mysterious. When word reached the president, he had to make a change. Delirious. 1 year on, we finally won a victory momentous. The fight for national civil rights was begun. 'Cause I sat on a bus.
She sat on the bus.
I sat on a bus.
She sat on the bus.
I sat on a bus.
For all of us.
I sat on a bus.
She sat on the bus. Our story over. Huge dent to Rosa. We all agree. She made history. She sat on the bus. She sat on the bus. For all of us. She sat on the bus. She sat on the bus. She sat on the bus. She sat on the bus.
We are not putting down our pens. We are not putting down our pens. We're the same as the white guys. We're smart, dapper, and baptized, and we're not putting down our pens. I'ma send a letter to the Prince of Wales. I can shout and punch, but I prefer to use Royal Mail. The trouble is, I write a lot of words to no avail. Gain supporters, get press, and every night a boat sails. I'm a black guy in Britain, a free man, once a slave. Hope my actions form a pave. My book, man, it's a fave. Got power in my pen and my speech won't falter. We sons of Africa get bolder. I showed her that I was kidnapped, sold to bondage, the empire's hostage. I built upon my knowledge, not been easy if I'm honest. The plan make abolition cool among the dames. Lot of letters floating around, so let me spell out my name. I'm the OTTO, bar HCU. Go, no, we're not meant to be a group of brothers kept from opportunities. Meanwhile, Britain keeps stealing us endlessly. Yo, slavers, we're fighting back. Yo, slavers, we're fighting back. You're so behind with the times, your actions will be crimes. Yo, slavers, we're fighting back.
They can't go, don't you see? I'd have less money if the slaves were free. Tell them no, we'd have to pay. We must not let our conscience get in the way. Da 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 da, hey da 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 da.
Oluwado, Equiano, writer and barber, Ali sons of Africa and schmoozing the parlor. We make the economic case to abolish the slave trade. Stop the ships now, then we all get paid. Cruelly, they make us work for free, and we're banned from taking part in democracy. They ain't gonna let kids of Africa just be, so we write letters to stop ships going out to sea.
Geniuses, keep up the writing, maintain the pressure and the law will keep fighting. Are you all not a man and a brother? We'll get the votes we need, if not this time, then another.
We are the sons of Africa. We are the sons of Africa. You can't deny our lives matter. The slave trade we will shatter. We're the sons of Africa. We are the sons of Africa. We are the sons of Africa. You can't deny our lives matter. The slave trade we will shatter. We're the sons of Africa.
The queen of jazz, they went crazy for me. Back in the 20s, they loved my new dance. From Harlem to the toast of all Paris, I made the Charleston a big hit in France. Hung out with him in Way
And Picasso.
Star or Champs-Élysées. 'Cause anybody can just walk the walk. You need a dancing girl to blow your mind.
Dance, dance, Josephine, baby.
II broke out, I offered help with French military intelligence. Charmed my way to enemy embassies, shared my findings through correspondence. Wrote secret notes for spies, owned the resistance guys. Cause anybody can't just talk the talk, you need a war hero to blow your mind. Dance, dance back in the States. Racism made me irate. Civil rights is the new song I sing, side by side with Martin Luther King. Look at all that I did.
How could you not know?
Plus adopted 12 kids.
That is a lot, though.
Wait a moment, did you think that I was just a dancer? Then I'll say goodbye.
I'm Martin Luther King, and I had a dream. It said the victory of civil rights was brought about thanks to me, but there were many, many more who made it a reality. They were the heroes who made the dream come true. A Southern Christian leadership group was formed, supported by black and white. Police arrested me 30 times, like that would make me give up the fight. Black and white kept apart, at school and even water fountains. But President Johnson's bold civil rights laws helped me climb further up the mountain. They were the heroes every day. I have dreamed that one day my children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. When my life was ended, theirs did begin. Within days of my assassination, legislation was ushered in, and they were the heroes who made the dream come true. And they were the heroes who made a dream come true.
And another famous American who came to Britain to make his name was Ira Aldridge.
I did so much way back when, started acting in the States, but they didn't want men like me. Oh no, except for slavery. So I travelled on a boat across the Atlantic Sea. Was 17 and the Brits had no problem with me. Oh no, their law said I was free. Acted in London, Liverpool and Brighton, Edinburgh and London, Hull and London. There were more theatres in London. Oh, I did so much, was on an acting spree. I toured the whole country, but I settled in Coventry. Oh yes, they really like me. My acting so impressed everyone. Ran Coventry Fair, age only 21. Oh, I done so much and not done dough. I went back on the stage